We're here with Steve and Liz Amagan from Guam. Steve is a United States military veteran with some very considerable experience. He started his life here in Molo. So you want to tell us your story, Steve, from the beginning?
Yeah, I was born in Molo, Infante, 114 Infante Avenue. But my dad is H2 worker. They call it OFW, right? Overseas Foreign Worker. So I managed to save enough money and we built a house in Mandurriao. So we moved to Mandurriao in 1971, 1972, where pretty much spent most of my teenage years in Mandurriao. I left. We were blessed to have been petitioned by my uncle, who had served along with the military forces during World War II and also part of the Bataan Death March. So he was afforded an opportunity to go to the States. At the same time, when Dad paying forward, he petitioned the siblings. So my dad was petitioned by my uncle to go supposedly to the States, California, but my dad decided to go to Guam because he's been an H2 worker in Guam for the longest time, and he already know exactly how to find job as a surveyor. So that's how we end up in Guam. We all migrated to Guam in 1982, and after that, finished high school in Guam and joined the military, joined the Marine Corps. Spent 4 years, and that's where I met my beautiful wife, Liz, in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina. And after that, things, I always say God always has plans for us, right? It's always something for good, not something for bad.
So you were a young Marine when you met your wife?
Yes.
Okay. And your school years, I want to just make sure we know. You went to high school in the United States?
No, I left here when I was in
College?
No, third year high school.
Third year high school. Okay, so you did attend a year in the United States?
Yes, as a matter of fact, that was my argument with the school system in Guam, because they only allow us every grade level is only 6 credits.
Uh-huh.
But when I went to Guam, I already have 21 credits, which was supposed to have been enough for me to
graduate.
Finish high school. But they only took 6 credits. So when I arrived in Guam, I had to start in 10th grade, which is 4th year high school here.
Okay.
And have to go all the way to 12th grade.
Okay.
But I found the educational system in the Philippines much more, we call that a little bit harder, because everything is every grade level they have to take a certain subjects.
Electives?
Yeah. All the core classes like the math, science, and all that. Because I took chemistry, I took algebra 1 and 2, geometry when I was here. In the Philippines or in Guam, they have that option to take different type of math that they want, business math. As a matter of fact, I was given business math when I came to Guam, and I looked at them and said, like, this is a lower form of math. I already took algebra class, so they put me to algebra 1 class in Guam, and then I went up to algebra 2. But with my mindset that what I really want to do is before I left Guam, I wanted to be an engineer. But again, that wasn't God's plan. That's why I was trying to get a higher form of math when I was in Guam. But for some reason, things have changed. Where when I was here, I avoided the Citizens Army training, which was a requirement here, and high school students. I avoided that found a loophole where you have to stay in the Boy Scout.
Okay.
And to prevent you from going to Citizens Army training.
Okay.
So I was in the Boy Scout all the way to third year high school.
Okay.
But first thing, again, God's plan is different.
Okay.
First thing that I did when I went to Guam, I joined the Junior Army ROTC.
Okay.
Where I was, I took it from 10th all the way to 12th grade.
But you ended up joining the Marines.
Yes.
Okay.
That's God's plan for me, so that I'll be able to find my beautiful wife in Jacksonville, North Carolina.
So let's go back to you're in Chapel Hill. Is it Chapel Hill, right?
Jacksonville.
Okay, and you met Liz in North Carolina when you were in the Marines, and then so where do we go from there?
Well,
how long were you in the Marines?
I was in the Marines for 4 years, and I deployed twice. One in the Pacific area, we're here, which is in they call that Westpac tour. We call it deployments tours, right? Westpac tour, it covers pretty much the whole area here in the Pacific.
Okay.
We're the part of the Marine Expeditionary Unit. So anything that happens, we put first responders being the Marines because we're trained in a different aspect, air, land, and sea, right? So I went to another deployment. They call that Med Float, which is a Middle East deployment for the Marines, 6 months. And when I met her, and God's plan was for us to be together. So we started our relationship, and I wanted to extend for 6 more years in the Marine Corps. But they asked me to deploy one more time, another 6 months to the Middle East. I said no, I can't because we just started a relationship. So my mom, God used my mom to entice me to come back. So I came back to Guam, and from there since 1989 we've been in Guam. A lot of bumps in the road, but with our faith in God, we're able to overcome a lot of obstacles that God has thrown our way.
Okay, and you've served in more than just the Marines. You decided to re-enlist.
Yes, my initial plan when we moved to Guam was I was gonna join the Army, but not even a couple months when we arrived in Guam, she got pregnant.
Okay.
So I said, like, you know what, we'll just stay. I stayed in Guam, took a lot of odd jobs, and then joined the Army Reserves for 2 years.
Okay.
And after that, a lot of odd jobs, and applied a lot of different jobs in the government of Guam. Not realizing that you need to have, anywhere you go, right? You have politics, who you know. But I was blessed at that time that I applied. Every time I apply for a job, I compete, right? And I'm always top of the candidates.
Okay.
And I was never selected. And I was a messenger, so I was allowed to move around places. And so I went back to the DOA, Department of Administration, and I said, like, you know what, God, please let me know if a government job is not for me. So that's opened my eyes. There was an opening, police officer one opening. And I looked up and said, God, if this is for me, I will take heed, right? So I applied. And I went through the process, took the test, took the physical agility test, took the polygraph test and everything. That's the process we have to go through. The polygraph test, and then psychological evaluation, and the final interview. And I was the last one to be called. I said, like, oh, I think it's not for me. But the Friday before the academy started, they called me and said, hey, you were selected. So I only have the 1 day to tell my employer, FHP, that I was resigning, and I felt bad. But the reason why I was hired, because the chief of police at that time, he was a retired Marine colonel. So that was my connection. God used him as my connection to get into government of Guam. So he's the one that actually paid my way into the law enforcement side of the Guam Police Department. And I was in Guam Police Department since 1991 and retired in 2022. My last position was a staff assistant to the chief of police.
Okay, so you did 4 years with the Marines, and then you did 20 years with
18 years.
18 years with the police in Guam.
Yeah, that's another thing that I always believe, that Jeremiah 29:11 about God's plan. That 9 years I was out growing my hair. My son, turning 10, he came up to me and he said, Dad, when I'm going to get my military ID card? It's like, what made you ask that? I said, because I looked at my wife, it's just smiling, right? What made you ask that? Also, all my friends have military ID card. So I looked at her and said, you know what? Let me see if I can still pass the ASVAB test. So I took the ASVAB test. I passed, and I tried Army Reserves, but U.S. Air Force Reserves, but they weren't returning my call. So I tried the Air National Guard, Guam Air National Guard. And I wanted to, I've been in infantry with the Marines and infantry with the Army Reserves. I wanted an office job. Because, my ASVAB score was high enough for me. I wanted to get into finance, right?
You wanted to join the chair force.
Yeah. So what happened was, something was diverting me, leading me towards the electrical field. And it's like, probably at that time I never realized about, I wasn't born again. I was Christian, but my faith was really not that strong at that time because, all the obstacles in life, sometimes you kind of sidetrack. and I was led to be an electrician. So I stayed there for 18 years and retired in 2018.
Somewhere along the line, I know you ended up in Afghanistan.
Yeah, I went in Afghanistan twice in 2011, 2012.
2011 and 2012. And you were there when they did the Bin Laden raid.
Yes, May of 2011. It was quite a feeling that great feeling to be in the same camp with different nations, right, the NATO forces. When we heard it, the chow hall just erupted into joy.
Yeah,
So
I'll bet. Wow.
but thinking that would be the end of it, but it prolonged. I went back 2012, and I was in Kandahar, where I witnessed a lot of bodies being flown in every time the casualty of war being flown in, and we get shelled all the time in Kandahar,
Yep.
and I kind of got used to it because you have to be thinking that you have to be mentally strong. That's why I was brought up in the Marine Corps that it's a mind over matter. If you don't mind, everything will not matter. So I got used to all the bombing and the shellings, and all I do is left everything with God. And if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. Even before my deployment, my time at deployment, I always tell my oldest son, said, "Boy, when I'm gone, don't expect me to come back." And they all cry. I said, "No, that's the reality of life." Because I always believe that our life on this earth is not permanent. I can be talking to you now, and God will call my number, say, "Steve, it's time to go."
It's an important lesson, I think, for everyone. Life is temporary.
Yeah, and anything that happens in your life, bad, especially bad things, do not blame God, because that's God's way of diverting your path to a better plan that He has for you. Jeremiah 29:11 says that. It's just a reminder. It's just like when you're playing bowling, right? As a child when you go bowling, you don't know how to bowl, so they put the railing.
Yeah.
The railing, yeah, the gutter is pretty much, that's what part of God's plan. Even though you will go this way, the gutter will divert you to hit your target, and that's what God's plan all the whole time. So, I mean, 'cause remember I told you that when I was here in the elementary grade, I was selected batch 1979 of School for Exceptional Children. I have a lot of friends still alive. Sometimes we gathered, and we were selected to be part of that class. For 21 of us, were selected within the city of Iloilo to join that class from 4th all the way to 6th grade. And part of the incentives that we have from the school is that if you're able to pass the test for the University of the Philippines, you get a full ride scholarship. But something stopped me when I was taking the test, that the University of the Philippines was not for me. That God reminded me of the hardship that my cousins were doing, burning the midnight oil, trying to pass University of the Philippines. So I intentionally did not finish the test. I was led to Central Philippine University, which is a Christian college. That's where I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal Savior in front of the whole congregation, the school. So everything from there, I was given a lot of tests, but with my faith and God blessing me with a beautiful wife, I managed to stay. She was part of the gutter.
Keep it between the lines.
Yeah, and she was part of the gutter. Because I also led her to Christ. She was born Catholic, and I took her to Bible study at one time in North Carolina, and they led into some kind of discussions and I was told that you never argue about religion, just respect who they believe, and all you have to do if they don't go your way, just pray. There's only one God that will listen to your prayer. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one can come to the Father except through me.
Very
Jesus
good.
Christ.
That's what I believe as well. Okay. So one thing that's been important to all of us, and I think God brought us together because, is the visa waiver. It's so very hard for Filipinos to go to the United States, to get a visa to the United States. I think it's disproportionately difficult. And one thing we can do to kind of break the ice and create a positive record is your home island of Guam create a visa waiver, to ask our politicians to make a special waiver for Guam so that Filipinos can visit Guam without going through this very vigorous process of applying for a visa that's often rejected. So, you want to tell us more about
Well, all this thing was brought to light when the former Governor Carl Gutierrez, one of the best governors that we have, the grassroots governor of Guam, trying to push for the visa waiver for Philippines. When I heard that, it's like, that would be a quite benefit for my fellow Filipinos in the Philippines. He keeps pushing for it. Even Manny Pacquiao got involved, when he was still a senator, trying to push for it. And I'm not sure what's really the process now, but even the congressman now is still trying to push for the Philippines, Guam, and Commonwealth Northern Mariana Island visa waiver. And I'm just here if something, when I deal things with life, something pops in my mind. So like, I'm gonna meet all you guys, right? I brought it up to I think this is the first time we discussed the visa waiver.
Yeah, you brought it up here, but it's really got to be God, because it's been something that I've been pushing for, and I've been trying to find a way to grab some attention without pushing the line too far, because we need to get people's eyes on this problem that Philippines is very much neglected as far as immigration. The Filipinos make very good on the opportunity when they get to the United States.
Yeah, we helped rebuild Guam. So
yeah, Filipinos are net contributors to the economy of the United States, and then people that generally believe in law and order and have common values. Yet it's very difficult, even if you have a spouse like my wife. We'll get it done, but it's far more difficult than it should be. She should be able to get a tourist visa or a visitor visa just for the asking, because would it show her passport, show my passport, our marriage certificate, you would think, and then let her visit my parents. But no, instead it has to be interviews, there has to be a lot of money fronted, and it seems it's not the way one country should treat another country when we're friends and we have this close bond that the Philippines and America have.
Especially Philippines was once a territory to the Paris Treaty in 1898.
American forces and Filipino forces shed blood here, liberating Philippines from the Empire of Japan, and also in Korea. The Philippines joined. Many Filipino soldiers joined MacArthur in Korea to help liberate South Korea. So I have my own motives for wanting this visa waiver program. Obviously, my wife Karen, and I know so many expats in the same situation. Some that their wife wants to get U.S. citizenship, get a green card, and some no. Some just want to take their wife to the United States to visit. They want to visit their parents. They want to visit their siblings, and they basically can't because of the property requirements and the bank account requirements for their wife. So what I'm hoping is that by opening Guam up to a visa waiver type program where these requirements are dropped, we can set a good example and use it to lessen the restrictions on Filipinos visiting the United States. It'll be good for the Philippines, it'll be good for the United States, and it'll especially be good for Phil-Am families. So, you want to add to that, Steve?
This at the same time will also help Guam with our tourism, because right now tourism is quite in a slow. It's not slowed down since COVID-19, but at the same time, again, it's not just because of that. It's watching. God led me to watch YouTube's, right, and the process that you guys are going through. And something that popped in my mind when before I came here, so you know what, I think I'll discuss about the visa waiver, and I asked our fellow Americans to probably help Guam lobby by talking to you guys, senators or congressmen, and see what the louder the voice, the better chances that Guam will be heard. So would you guys help? Okay, it's a special interest on my part because of Guam. It's also because of my fellow Filipinos, right? my kababayans that give them the opportunity.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can give other countries, you're right. If they can give other countries the visa waiver, why can't they give Guam? I mean, the Philippines, at least a visa waiver for Guam,
Yeah.
a country that was once a U.S. territory, a country that was once occupied by Spain and Japan, and the United States came into action and liberated Guam and Philippines. Why can't they do the same thing now and give them the freedom to travel through the visa waiver program?
Exactly.
And hopefully, with your help and your connections with our fellow Americans here, that we can find 50 expats, 50 YouTube bloggers from different states
Yeah.
to reach out to their congressmen and their senators.
Yep.
It will be double benefits. I mean, triple benefits to your beautiful wife Karen, to your children, right? To Guam, and also for just everybody that's was having the opportunity to visit Guam, where America's Day begins, because we are Guam is America and Asia,
Yep.
and with your help and the help of the other fellow Americans, I think
I
Guam
think we
can
can get it done. I really do. I'm actually very, and I'm not going into this I'm not going into this naively. I understand the legislative process, but I also understand politics. And like you said, we find 50 expats. We all reach out to your congressman, reach out to your senator. This is a bipartisan issue. It's not. It goes between across ideological lines. This is. And it's an issue that strengthens the United States and the Philippines. It's mutually beneficial to everyone involved.
As a matter of fact, I remember I told you this morning as soon as I woke up, I messaged the former governor. As I served him and the family as part of their security details, and he's still in communication with me. I discussed with him island politics because he's one of our great statesmen in Guam. I mean, he knows exactly how he managed to let Guam survive during the burst of the Asia economy, right? And with all his innovation and ability to work with other people, no matter what race, no matter their social status, or no matter what party they're in, they're so inclusive that they let people, because they're one of the best leaders that we will have, or we used to have, is when they gather people in different areas, right, to help them. Make them think, as all the great leaders, successful leaders, were surrounded by smart people, and that's what he was doing. And now, even after he left, he's still pushing for the visa waiver. And I reached out to him this morning and messaged him that I spoke with you regarding it. And you know what he told me? He said, "Oh, let's talk when we get back," because you were asking for points, right? For talking points. And he's the only one that knows exactly, because he's the one that pushed for the visa waiver when he was the president for Guam Visitors Bureau, and now it's being picked up by our congressman. And as a matter of fact, I messaged him before we left here, and I told him that this is my whole intention. I visit family here at the same time, trying to see what we can do to trying to help out our island, at the same time help everybody out. If it's other country can go to the United States for free. I mean, without a visa.
Korea and Japan both have, I believe, a visa waiver program right now. They basically, if they want to go to the United States, they just take their passport and go, buy their ticket and go.
They can do the same thing to
Exactly.
our fellow Filipinos, the Filipinos here in the Philippines. I mean, give them the same opportunity.
Guam can be our laboratory to prove ourselves here. That
Yes.
That our proposal.
Just because probably there's a bad experience in the past, probably in the States, because not bad in the States. They can go anywhere. Guam is a small island. Where can they go?
Exactly. And so what I'm hoping is it's your objective to open Guam up, and the example that Guam sets will be a good one. We can extend it further, maybe to Hawaii, and then maybe to the whole United States, because we can demonstrate.
Make it a testing ground.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Testing
A laboratory of democracy, we
Yeah.
call the states, and so Guam is also out there by itself as an island in its own polity, a laboratory of democracy, so we can test.
Because I researched your last name. There's some politicians in your family, right?
Distantly.
Yeah, no, but that's the only way that I saw some of the senators. My friend, former Senator Roy Kinata, is running again for office. You know his first slogan when they ran for office: "The difference begins with us." He's pointing at us because we are the thinking machine for the elected officials. They cannot do the job by themselves.
It's up to we the people. It should. We're all about America. Is all about grassroots advocacy and we're citizens. We're not subjects. It's up to we the people to generate the. To generate the consensus. It's not really not up to the politicians as much as it is to we the people at the grassroots, because this is a grassroots movement. There's so many Fil-Am families, so many Filipino Americans, and it's coming from the bottom up. It's coming from the people.
From the common people.
Yes.
Like former President Magsaysay was known for.
Instead of just getting on social media and complaining, which is kind of useful because we know there's a problem. When people complain on social media, we can see there's a problem, and then that's not bad. But we have to take it to the next level now, and take this energy and take it from a negative complaint into a constructive proposal now. And you have brought the proposal forward and put it in front of me, and I really appreciate that.
And one of the things that I realized, I mean, a lot of people, we have a representation in Congress, right? But we cannot vote. We must, yes, we have a voice, but we cannot vote on anything. So that's why I hate to say that I'm taking advantage of the God's path that led me to talk to you regarding it. So with your help and the help of the rest of our fellow Americans here, only we can
I think we can get it done. So I'm gonna wrap it.
Yeah.
Good, Steve. Thank you so much, Steve and Liz. I really appreciate what you guys have done, and I think you've really started something here. So we're gonna get this snowball rolling now and make it happen. James and Karen Adventures. Thank you, Steve.
You're welcome.